Are we ready? Với coi cái là buồn cáo cái
Silent.
lekin ngade ganang ti malay kan kin over recording nange chola hot mai ke bra lot of so look very gari ala because we ban ato ko on ku ngai nang ko lwe la ngwen ke lan ngwen ke kon ramier we hot mai so yere da agate.
Good afternoon. I believe most of media houses are here. This statement released is from both community leadership. We were silent for the last 3 days to 4 days because we're busy evacuating our people who got injured or those who lost their life.
Your voice.
Or those who have lost their life. Today, Monday, 23rd February 2025, it is with profound grief and heartbreak that we announce the tragic attack that occurred on Friday, January 31st, 2025. At approximately 4:30 a.m. South Sudan local time, a peaceful cattle camp at Nyolo village, Arua Junction, Mabui County, Eastern Equatoria State, was brutally attacked by a combined force of youth mobilized by the government of Eastern Equatoria and Equatorial Protection Army and National Salvation Front rebels. To our surprise, the attack was launched when the cattle headers were moving out of the area following the directives from the governor of Eastern Equatoria State, Honorable Luis Lobang Lejore, and the commissioner of Mabui County, Honorable Polo Benjamin Olam. This senseless attack of violence claimed the life of 41 innocent people, including women and children, leaving 65 severely wounded. And many others not accounted for, and entire families devastated. This was not just an attack, it was a cold-blooded massacre targeting an armed civilian driven by greed and a blatant disregard for human life. The attackers looted livestock, leaving families not only in mourning but also in dire need of an urgent humanitarian assistance. We unequivocally condemn this heinous crime in the strongest term possible. The loss of innocent life is a tragedy that should check the conscience of every South Sudanese. We call upon the government of South Sudan to launch an immediate and a thorough investigation into this horrific incident. Those responsible must be swiftly brought to justice so that such barbaric act never occur again. In this moment of sorrow, we urge our people to remain calm and refrain from retaliatory violence. Further bloodshed will only deepen our wounds and hinder our path to peace. Instead, we call upon national and international humanitarian agencies to swiftly intervene and assist the wounded, the owners of looted livestock, and grieving families. To the youth who carried out the attack and those who mobilized them, we plead with you, end this cycle of bloodshed. The killing of innocent old men, women, and children is not the answer. It is a wound upon our nation's soul. We must not destroy ourselves from within. Let us choose dialogue, understanding, and unity over hatred and destruction. May the soul of the departed rest in eternal peace, and may peace prevail in our beloved South Sudan. Thank you very much.
Yes, now you are allowed to ask some few questions.
Before we ask the question from Doctor, can you still speak in your own language so that some of the guys who don't understand English may understand what you have said right here?
That one will be done after questions. We will actually address the media by reading
Mr. Chairman, if I would be asking, these are questions that pertaining to the media coverage of the event. On the 28th, or days before that, there was a report by Ayii Radio and Radio Tamazight on which the cattle herders were accused to have displaced hundreds of thousands of people in Mabut, and they could not exactly specify whether there was a clash, and only a harassment was mentioned. What is your take on that report? Was it as it is reported, or was that a message misunderstood somewhere?
Jack, this is just a mere propaganda.
Okay.
We know very well prior to this attack, Honorable Luis Lobang visited the cattle camp. And his words were, "We don't want you here." Upon arrival of the cattle camp, leave this place because many people are in the bushes. The youth of this state are in the bushes, so you better leave. Now, how come will these cattle herders go and harass population who are heavily protected by their youth? And it is not use of Eastern Equatoria side. The use of other areas were involved, and particularly the rebel groups, NAS and Equatoria Protection Army. All these youths were there, harbored in the state of Eastern Equatoria. So that is a mere lie. It was no harassment. Instead, the people were attacked, and the scene of the attack is very clear and obvious, which I believe some of you have visited. So that's not true. Instead, the cattle herders were attacked.
You called for investigation, and there's been more than 72 hours now. Has any government institutions, especially the investigative organs, visited the area?
This is why we are calling the government.
Okay.
Question, Madingor from Arab Media. I want to hear about the humanitarian update, humanitarian situation update at the scene of the attacks, and also Have any efforts been made by any arm of government to recover the cattle?
I will answer number one. We have already, as stated here, today we have contacted the humanitarian organization. We are having an appointment with SSRC, but it is not mature. So that is, we are consulting with the humanitarian bodies. The other part, you should ask the government to answer. Thank you.
If I could ask the politicians, and this is a question to the two politicians. Obviously, Amo is a voice of the community, but you representing the community at the political level. Looking at the situation, over 40 injuries and over 40 deaths at the same time. Why is it not important that you as parliamentarian talking of the investigation taking place or any visit by the state apparatus at the scene? And I think nothing of that kind mentioned by the community chairperson. What would be your take? And what are you going to be saying, Ayii and Molana?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we are, as you have put it, members of parliament representing the community affected. We come from Jonglei State, where the herd has come from. We have condemned in the strongest term possible the incident that occurred, which is suspected to have hands of fellow politicians from Eastern Equatoria. And now as we speak, there is a move by members of parliament from Greater Port and Jonglei in particular to meet with the members of parliament of Eastern Equatoria. We will seek answers from them as to what happened, and we will move together to ask the government why there is no action taken so far until 72 hours later. And if there is any account of an attempt to handle the situation at hand by the government, by the law enforcing agencies. So we are on track together with community leadership, and that's why we are here. And
looking at, you're talking of politician, a commissioner would be a politician.
Yeah.
And there's a video circulating on which the commissioner himself threatened. That was prior to that he was going to take security measures. And looking at the political aspect of that, is the commissioner entitled to that? And is that something that should be investigated by the Ministry of Interior?
It is actually something that is worth investigation, because there is no politician under the sun that is allowed to declare any measures that takes life against fellow civilians. All politicians have the responsibility to protect all the citizens. And the Constitution, our Constitution is very clear.
Yes.
Article 27(1) says that every citizen, every South Sudanese has right to live anywhere in South Sudan and has right to own property anywhere in South Sudan. And you know, cattle are a property. These are resources that are contributing to the economy of this country. And so anybody that is found having a cow should not be, you know, demonized as an evil. And there's no one that has right whatsoever to declare war on murder of cattle.
Yes, my name is John Penn from Terab Radio. Honorable Michael Ayii, as a lawmaker, you have touched part of that. But it is the governor and the commissioner and the rest of the dignitaries of the county and the state that are ordering people to leave for good. Many intellectuals have written petitions, you know, copying UN and the rest. What does the law say about the business or residency in the country for such people like the transhuman community. I mean the pastoralists. Maybe I can throw this back to my youth leader, Kura Yunko. It is said that some cattle destroyed farms in Magui County. And I am hearing of a community having admitted and trying to do compensation. Did you intervene, or did the community intervene to compensate the people who were aggrieved before the war, before the attack? Thank you.
We have a mix-up anyway. But to be very honest, you asked me a question and again shifted to...
I just didn't want to repeat myself.
To answer you, as I said earlier on, Article 27.1 covers every citizen and it's and his or her own way of life. Way of life involves farming, it involves taking care of cattle, it involves doing business. And the Constitution grants absolute right to every citizen, regardless of color, regardless of religion, regardless of tribes, to live anywhere and own property. Okay? So if there is any politician in South Sudan that think he or she has a different constitution to what we have as a country, it's something that is worth questioning, and we shall join our hands with members of lawmakers from Eastern Equatoria to ask individuals that might be deemed to have gotten involved in pushing out fellow citizens.
In addition to what my colleagues have said,
your voice.
First of all, my condolences to the grieved families, South Sudanese who have fallen in unnecessary fight. And it's very unfortunate our people die at this age after we have liberated ourselves, irrespective of whatever reason. What Ajak was saying was asking what is the effect of MPs. MPs definitely are disappointed. They will not approve because we are in transitional government of unity. The government is a government of peace. We bring all the parties to peace. And even those who are still outside, there is a peace negotiation going on to bring peace. So you can just imagine a situation where the government of the whole state hands are suspected. So we are disappointed. Definitely we will be calling for investigation to take place, and I'm sure the executive arms of transitional government of national unity is being its part investigation. What I mean to say, there is a defense. Ministry of Defense have arms of security. In particular, there is the Ministry of Interior. They have it is a responsibility to make sure the citizens are safe, protected. And even if there is an element of rebels fighting and colluding with the citizens, then there is a national security concern there. So it means there is a responsibility of the Ministry of National Security. And surely the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. So me and my colleagues as MPs, our expectation is the government will prepare itself and even report to His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Sudan and the Presidency in general and to the Council of Ministers so that we stop this culture of impunity. Nobody will be allowed to be above the law. That is expectation we are expecting. If that is not coming forward, then definitely if the parliament be convening, we will be discussing. And I will put this question across the board whether in Eastern Equatoria or Western or Jonglei State, that no citizen, that nobody is allowed to do what happened in Mobi area. These are people who have taken law into their hands. They will know the rule of law. If the cattle from Jonglei, and in particular from Bor area, and Mandari, in fact, people say it is Bor, these are cattle from Bor. No, even there are people from Mandari area. If they have violated the law, for sure, the media houses, that is not allowed. If somebody violates the law, do you kill it? If somebody even attack you, do you organize yourself and make a revenge attack? Under our constitution and under the various laws of this country, it is not allowed. Nobody is above the law, and I'm sure definitely the national government will come in and investigate what has happened. And for that matter, I will call upon the civil society and media houses and media in general to push on this so that it find out who was there exactly, where the rebels were there according to the press release by the community, where they are rebels, what is the link. If there is somebody inside the government who is linking the citizen with the rebels, is that person a rebel? If he's a rebel, of course there is a law, it's very clear. He will be punished accordingly. Thank you. My name is Abraham Diabde.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait for the mic.
Chairman, just to add on, actually, on the question where Miraya entertain individuals, I radio entertain individuals that were claiming displacement of population around Mogui as a result of, being intimidation by the presence of cattle or harassment. Harassment does not displace people in the world. And if anyone deemed to have been harassed, he or she has a right to open a police case of harassment. And that is handled under that law. So what happened on Miraya FM, iRadio rather, what happened on iRadio and done by those individuals was absolute mobilization, okay, of individuals that actually ended up carrying out the act of massacre in Yolo. And those individuals must be held accountable.
Thank you, members of the press. I'll just touch on a few things that the chairman has left out on 3 points. We condole with the families of the lost ones. From what we know, and I have been an eyewitness to the situation on the ground, the preemptive report from iRadio was an incitement for the youth from Mogui County to be mobilized that there is a danger. And that was the situation as it is true. There is no way you can displace people that are in the perimeter of 2 kilometers in 2 barracks, military barracks. And we know where Obama is. Across the bridge, there is a military barrack that is stationed there. Before the bridge, there is a military barrack. And in the middle is where the cattle have settled, where the cattle keepers' camps have settled. And there is only a small village that is there. And these people were there until they were also attacked, together with the cattle keepers, okay, on the night of the Friday. So there was no displacement. Before that, the governor, the commissioner, and all the community elders had a meeting that was facilitated by the army. And the cattle keepers were invited for that meeting, and the same with the governor. The governor came, they reported their farm had been destroyed. The governor commissioned the commissioner that go and verify it and compensate according to how you guys arrange them. But to you, the cattle keepers, the local people don't need you here permanently. So we advise you compensate what you have destroyed and then start moving. So they said give us 3 days. They said we have given you 1 day. Okay. The commissioner of Bor County also wrote to the commissioner asking to give him 72 hours to come and sit and see how these people should be relocated. The reply from the commissioner of Magui County was, we have refused to sit down with you. We ask your people to leave immediately. Okay. So there was an ongoing mobilization, and there was evidence that was reported that these people are around. They are not very far. So Ayii Radio, we are going to take action against Ayii Radio because media incitement have led to this situation, because there was no displacement that was done prior to that. Ayii Radio will have to verify that figure, which houses were touched and which houses people move away from. Okay. Also on the ground, the attackers, there are people bodies that are lying all over the place. It is not only the cattle keeper, they were also, there was a repel. They were also repelled. The bodies that we have identified with the tribal markers we know ourselves, okay, are Murle. We have Murle youths that are part of that. We have Taposa youths that are part of that. When did Murle and Taposa farm migrated to Magui County? Okay, for their farm to be destroyed, to come and say we don't need cattle keepers in our farm. So these people were moved, tactically were moved by somebody, and that somebody is what we are going to find out through the investigation. So the people who have bodies on the ground in the cattle camp are not people, we have never identified a single person from Magui County. We have not seen anybody on the ground from Magui County. Okay, but we have them, we have those pictures. So for us, Ayii Radio will be accountable. On the humanitarian, prior to that, when the commissioner said we don't need compensation, we need you to move, we told the cattle keepers met and they said, okay, our vulnerable population need to move. Us who are strong will now push the cow because issue of water, issue of pasture, and you cannot push a cow for 1 week. Okay. So we have moved a lot of people. More than 40 buses went to pick vulnerable people prior to the incident. Okay, and these people were here. They have been brought here. Some have gone to Nimili to go to refugee camp. Some have gone to Bor. And these are evidence that these people were moving. Why do you attack them when they have already decided to move? Okay. So the humanitarian situation is bad. Even people who are here in Juba, there's no relative, given the current economic situation, that you can rely on. Okay, they are also suffering as we speak. They are suffering wherever houses they have also gone to. So for us, the politician instigated this incident. Whatever political message they want to send, I'm sure they want to put South Sudanese into loggerhead to fight among themselves. We had no issues with the local. These people, the cattle keepers, have no issues with the local. The local would have told them. The local would have also not report that there are new people moving in our bushes, okay, for them to protect themselves. If the local could come to them and tell them there are people that are moving around here, be careful, you sleep well, all these things, okay, they would have not done those such things. So these politicians, we will demand accountability. And this would be
if I
the
may
start
cut-
of
if I may
accountability.
cut you short there. What was the response from the governor and the commissioner who visited the cattle camp after the attack? Have they?
The commissioner was instructed to go and verify the farm that had been destroyed.
I mean, after the attack,
incident,
after the incident.
There is no response at all, and there is no communication.
Okay, have you came across the video that he had threatened any security action before that, or could that be a wrong video?
The video is there, but the intelligence we are getting,
Yeah.
these people are also mobilizing. They are mobilizing the youth from all this, not only the youth, they are also mobilizing the rebels that are also in those bushes, that we don't need these people here. Okay?
So have
and
you
that,
told the
and
government-
that,
the
that's
government?
what we have a report.
Have you told the government this is what is happening?
This thing have been reported that there is even before the attack.
Okay.
We knew that there is going to be attack. It was reported. But for us, we don't have the military intervention that we can do. It is to report it to the authorities. It is the authorities to protect whoever is in their environment, whoever is in their vicinity. It is the responsibility of the government to attack. I mean to protect.
If you could explain further, because there are over 65 people now in hospital, and I've seen some of them. There are no medical facilities to treat them. What is the help available for them? Because I've seen some of them have bad wounds, and they would need a serious intervention. And whether there is anybody that was helping, that is one. You have also been to the scene. If you can describe what was it like in terms, not in a graphic manner, but having seen a scenario where civilians end up killing each other, and the rest of the people that came with the attack, whether they were armed as soldiers or they were also civilians.
Yeah, for that, the situation is not good. The scene itself is not good, and it may even affect the people who are there because of other diseases. It is only children being shot at. To see a body of a child lying down, okay, from something incident that somebody did. So, but we tell the youth that we don't need to go for don't do any revenge. For any reason, don't do any revenge. Whatever that happened will be followed through the necessary processes. It will be investigated, and whatever action will be taken. Okay, but don't resort to any violence to go and instigate to be able to get involved with other communities with that, and we still urge them that they should not attempt to do that. Let them be on their process of relocating, and that is the message we are telling them. Because there is no reason you will refuse to leave somebody, the house of somebody who said don't stay with me, okay? But it is not to chase them. They will relocate. The same way they came, they will relocate until they move. Okay, so we want them to have peace of mind, to be able to move. But the incident that has happened should not instigate them to further violence.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, since you mentioned here,
We can shift now to...
yeah, since you mentioned it is for, this question is for Dictor. Since you say that the government of Eastern Equatorian, Lis Lobong is part of this, are Equatorian Protection Army part of SSPDF? No.
Mr. Chairman, there is a question that is being asked.
It is a question that has been asked
The
here.
viewers. How many cattle camps Radio Ayii report have overrun Magui County? Because the report is that hundreds of thousands have been displaced and villages have been taken over. Can you actually tell us the number of cattle camps that are in the county?
The cattle camps that were attacked are only 4 cattle camps. Those are the cattle camps we know in Nyolo. Yes. So, and this question of so many people being displaced in Magui County, we understand from the 2008 census population Mabui County does not have 100,000. So where are they getting the figures of 100,000? So you need to ask iRadio, where are they getting 100,000? What we know, Mabui County does not have 100,000 of population. Thank you. Let us shift to Dinka, please.
I was asking the question of Equatorian Protection Army. Are they part of the Eastern Equatorian government?
They have been, the Equatorial Protection Army has been mobilizing and encouraging, with a lot of hate speech, that they have mobilized force which is operating there to dislodge cattle headers. So they are part of it.
Okay.
And also the NAS rebels are operating there. They were part of it. You know the slogan of NAS. They are talking about land grabbing and cattle. So they are also part of it. What is unfortunate is to see that the responsible government in Eastern Equatoria is condoning that situation and not able actually to tell the truth to the people of South Sudan. Instead of telling them that there are few people in the bush who don't want you here, it means that there is an understanding between them and this rebel group. And this is a reality. The other time, 2022, our people were chased away, the cattle headers were chased away from Mogali and Molijo, that they are destroying farms. When we relocated them, what happened? Foreign troops came and settled there, and everybody is chicken about it. Nobody has talked about land taken. Nobody has talked about farm being destroyed. So, that is politics. And we are urging national government to open eye and see what is happening in that particular state. Not all of them, but some individual in that particular state. For us, in 2022, the same person went to a cattle camp. And from a few days later on, cattle camp was attacked. The same happened this time. It's amount to the reconnaissance mission. Thank you.
Dr. Hangok, my name is Simon Deng. I work for the Dawn newspaper. My question, after the raid on Friday night, there had been report from Eastern Equatoria that there is Ayii village and a mare that has been vandalized, houses are burned. Were these cattle headers doing the same thing? And right now, how is the situation? Have some of the cattle been, or all the cattle been recovered back? We wanted to know exactly.
That question is very tricky, because still cattle are in the bush and we don't know whether they will be recovered or will not recover. Some has reached as far as Jungle. Some has reached as far as Ikotos County. So,
and about the vandalism that is ongoing.
I don't think that one is true, because you commit a crime, then you create an environment to justify what you have been doing. That is possible to be done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
If I may, sir, please, add something on that line. You know, these are the cattle camps which were attacked, and many people were killed, many people displaced, and you can just, and then of course the cattle taken. For anybody who is a cattle keeper, who is from those areas where the cattle are the means of life, of livelihood, you will know people will first go in order to recover the cows. I don't think there will be any time now you come quickly and attack other area to destabilize where there is no cattle. Even common sense will dictate that is a sheer lie and is said by somebody who do not know the meaning of what? Of a cow. If somebody who knows the meaning of a cow will know what will be the feeling of a cattle owner when he his cattle or his cattle. So definitely, I down newspaper, another media house, to verify that the nation will succeed in through the rule of law when media is effective, efficient, and serious. Do not fear. Ask them, ask the governor, ask the commissioners, ask them some ministers here. Ask why there is no statement from the government up to now. You lost number of people. Many people have been displaced. Where is the statement from the government? Whether that is national government or state government, many people's life has been lost, and people are telling lies, and it's being condoned, and you hear to Ayii or another media house. It's something not relevant to our safety of our national unity. Thank you.
Just a backup question. The point is, I have been talking with the minister in Eastern Equatoria here today, and I was asking exactly if they are aware of the reports, maybe in casualties or the number of people killed from both sides. But they say that when they send the forces to the area, they were blocked by the cattle headers, so they could not assess the situation.
That is,
so.
That
are you aware, Dr. Gordon?
No, please. That is again. I'm Abraham Diar once again. I'm a lawyer myself, being a member of parliament, but a practicing lawyer. That cannot be true. The cattle raiders, they are not the one who are controlling the area in which the cattle were raided. They are not the one, and that is why their cattle were raided. If they were controlling the area, they would have not allowed the raiders to raid. Thank you.
Okay. The last question is about the crop season. Since our BCYA Juba chairman Akur Majib went to Eastern Equatorial State, have you confirmed that it is a rainy season on that side or not?
Thank you.
Before you answer that, let me just add on the previous question. To be very honest, and I urge you, all the media houses, you know, when a media house reports, the report must be complete. And what I mean is, it has to take account of both sides of the point. Now, I urge you to find where the commissioner is. Let him take you to the villages that were said to have been vandalized. Vandalization means you remove iron sheets, you take everything that is there, you destroy doors and all this. If the houses are burned, the trace of where a house was burned can be seen even 3 years later. So let him or her go and show you where the population was displaced, the house is vandalized, and the house is burned. If you get that evidence, then the narrative will be somewhat true. But to be very honest, everything that is meant as a propaganda to lay down, to lay a foundation where someone can build a case on in order to justify an incident like the incident that occurred. So these people premeditated their actions. They killed people in cold blood, and they laid that as a strategy to defend themselves later. And they cannot just be allowed to go unpunished. The government will look into that.
Yeah, thank you for the question. For me, I have been there for the last few days since the incident happened. And I can truly tell you that I have never seen a single farm, leave a farm that is destroyed. I have not seen a farm that the crop are growing. And it is a season that we all know as South Sudanese. It is not a farming season for cattle to be able to go and destroy farm. The cattle are even struggling for water. They are fighting over very small water that is in the pools. So if there was a farm that was destroyed, the commissioner would have not refused that following day when he was directed by the governor to go and verify the farm that have been destroyed, and then to seek for compensation. Okay, but when that lies end, because lies have an end, when it ends, they say we don't need you. Okay, so the bottom line is we don't need you, which our people, the cattle herders, have understood that that's why they relocate their families, and therefore they can be able to move with the cattle.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Marco. I work for Makwinatong. There is a post made by the Ayii radio about the Murle youth assertion condemning Boer community by accusing them that what happened in Eastern Equatoria, we are not far of it, and it happened there we are very far from it. They were denying completely that they are not far of what has happened to our people in Nyolo. Now, in your speech, I heard that the people killed lying in Nyolo, some of them are identified to be from Murle. Can you again justify what is the text? What is your take on that?
This one, there are things that we will not disclose here, but they will be part of the investigation. We have bodies that we have clearly identified. This one, we will report them to the authorities. We have telephones with names on them that we have recovered from those bodies. We will report those telephones to the authorities. We have IDs, nationality IDs, work IDs that have also been recovered. So those evidence, we will present them to the authorities. But we cannot be able to get them now to take them to the scene to identify their people. Okay. But these are clearly people with their tribal mark, which is, we are common people, we know ourselves very well. So anybody disputing it, we will get meet at the investigation. But we have all those evidence that we have collected.
Before you move to the Dinka language, the purported video that like to have been released by the commissioner, Pole Benjamin, he quoted the president, that the president during the governors forum have indicated that cattle should not be in other people's territory. And I wonder whether there was a legal justification to that, and what will be your take as a community and as a person responsible for these people? Was that a right statement, or was that a message to by misquoting the president?
I think what we know, and that has been the narrative,
Yes.
and which has been justified by the honorable members of parliament, and which was also made as a resolution in the governors forum. That resolution was not a statement from the president. It was a discussion on the plenary discussion of the governors forum, which was documented as a resolution that cattle should be relocated to their places of origin. If that one is a policy, which it has been said at the highest level, our cattle were moving to where they are, where they came from. They were relocating. But now look at the narrative, look at the irony. You are asking fellow citizens to go back to their homes of origin, and you have citizens of other countries. We have Ambororo who are here. They are in Ayii, they are in Lanya, they are also moving with these people. Nobody talk about them. Nobody said Ambororo should go back to Central Africa or should go back to Chad. So there is hatred by people who are running this propaganda that cattle from Boer should relocate back to Boer. Okay, all these cattle along the road are not all from Boer. Okay, they are not all from Boer. You have cattle from other communities. We don't want to talk about those communities, but it needs further investigation. What is the problem of Boer cattle? As they are the one that always destroy farms, and cattle from other communities have no issues.
Now, also as a chairman, Boer are nomadic people, and some of them have the livelihoods of living in the cattle camp. But there is a narrative that says majority of these cows are owned by generals. I heard it from articles that were published, and it has been the case that to the case of Mogali, it was quoted that they are owned by generals. And I wonder whether, as a community, are you educating other communities enough that for the last 100 years, there are Boer people that don't sit in the villages. They live with their cows, they move with their cows, like they are Boros, and they are not generals. Where is this narrative coming from?
No, let me answer this. Please, Jagwong, we will be not going to those issues. In 2022, when we relocated all the cattle from Eastern Bank, Eastern Equatoria, Central Equatoria, we took them to board. All the cattle. After 2 days immediately, the governor of Central Equatoria wrote a letter that Bari cows have been taken to board. So I want you, the governor, to send these cows back. So you know what happened? Everybody came with a letter. Bagarta Bari. So the old trucks came back with cattle. So it's just a food. Okay? So when they are here, the cattle board. You can measure board, Bagarta Bari. Prajau, the letter of the governor. So that is just mere politics. My folk will unite. Let us change, please.
Let's change.
One more. This is just an addition, and it is a clarification as well. To be very honest, as said earlier on by the chairman of youth, BCYA youth, that there was a resolution of the governors forum for cattle to be relocated to the states of origin. If that is to be implemented, then it has to begin with amendment of Article 27 of Article 1 of the Constitution. Because the law cannot say something on the other hand, and then you law implementers, the executive, say something on the other hand. Because governors are part of the executive. They are supposed to execute the laws that are made, the laws of the country, with Constitution being the supreme law of the land. So that falls short of legal facts and legal backup for a group of people to just conclude that yes, there is a resolution act and which does not comply with the Constitution. So these are things that we as a community and people representing the community shall have to discuss with the government. Why are resolutions passed in a way that is not consistent with the laws of the land, particularly the Constitution? Thank you.
Okay. Now, we welcome again. Victoria, you need to.
Okay. ما في ناس عربي؟
زول عربي
زول عربي في.
We take a mod. Yes, we take a mod with there. We call the radio, television, newspapers. We like social media. Keep you what in it, we will have quite a low, war in your low, you know, war came one after the tea. I've been, I know which year, 3 weeks. Did it? Ben Bike Waragaboge crossing Nile from Western Bank to Eastern Bank. The reason come to Cholma or a Jol Panago. Talk of I card long in big. You went to Lao. Then Chiga Ben, I ben who can't get the Alp. Then we took a carton. Young, how can I doom go brio? But yet came a chin doom poor cake man. A major doom poor cake. Then get Changde. War pen the one would pen a Thiopro. Cock fowl with the UFP. Agachi food insecurity. mapping a kilo in South Sudan. Actually, a single county in eastern Equatoria, they knew that they had sufficient food. How can they wala? So map generate ban. County na gayok, had sufficient food. So kenen mari you won't get a poor, won't get church on a chocolate. So, you know, this is a lot of Paris in Sudan. I care about repatriation. What we deal do and can get bigger thing. And you to do it, will be by the Pana Mook to me the Bendy. Quite your page doom camp in the mid baby. Pachikachi means can production. Either meat can be the loy. Lekin a mark, then please slogan ye Thomas Shirilo Galwin. The Equatorial Protection Army. They land grab. They land grab like a bourgay loy. Wong, a wong boar. Taliban ye will. Now, Lord Juba, ye juruli Juba. Jurngili Juba, Niaka Shipo Gali Juba. Ukaramia Pinipan, Palaga Borga grapping land. Won't you ban, Kulancho, Father Mugalar Bor, a chin Jurliutin, Keratatin, Leotatin, a Toratatin, even the younger worker or Atatin. Kulu or Garchu Waragala or Chakajora barrier. Wa toga to la yo por na war chi jan do la ka hok barya le wara ga gole ko buche so kina yi wanya de kina siyasa ka lorot ay weltene la kay hok por ari hakken ki ka ki pan junu ha hok bor ari hakken junu ki ka len grab what I'm not saying, I'm going to Juba chin pin the loom or no pin the take. They watch a label of the way for what I land grab. One more bill ben, you know, a thing. They better tower caught there. So, we work a week. Where you go, yo, you know, you're a change to court. You can Nimar, Kichaloy, Ben Bay Pan. We yell like a panduan. Like a panduan, which you block deep. To a lutin, like a banana, panduan alone. Young bake of a queen. The one member of the parliament are book against constitution. But I constitution Chirani implemented. Why by little up called jelly? Because I just open a real and a pandin. A kill a hook, I lyric a pandin or hook, I lyric a pandin. When I talk with a Benyan, I will let a Punjagapur, a bagay champan wood. You don't away. Oil. I champ it up and I like a very large bake of you. When I can't bend won't the move, then we peer cap, you peer ring, the little ray, Takala Pandin. Time I live going to buy a bide to be a buy. So, the Chilibia, chew to can go out yacht. You know, you know, by looking. The Galunian which didn't him go Galun. The Yama that could buy it. The Gongani and the Yin Yadora pay. War choke 2022. Mogali. Religio, Jalka. Where you had Gumpo, Gogijan. Now Jelka. The foreign troops. Look when we knew it. Norancheto Quill. Chirancheto Quill. If I can take it out of court. ajile jitawu ko because ko well nin way three hard by kulum one section of the big tribe kujel I mean the profile inga bana wanyo rodi juruban yala tawo ko ala borga berg werda daga panu shirkat ke cha ela ke jumhuriya jumhuriya ngalo ke jumhuriya ta din ko bo kamu ko yong tin ke berg pol la panu ne pan tet tingliu tin so ku chiro loy ke worka ake kata ku ke chal ke cha ping social media kwa cha ping commissioner jam alo ko yang chidum ka keno yang ken ka am ka tek ya akira tiana yiki chal openly baya kuma keno choro kuma responsible inge jam go chidum ka ko chidum ka am ka tek a ko che jal keno ko no so option kero ma cha krutong wo kruda kura nya tar blog gik we liutin ta ga lu pa nim king we liutin with we da nga bla tede kuna bu nga la tede ke kin ko rer juba kin ko rer juba nga la pande singeni juba kulum ke bay ngala pande ci constitution ci len bay letit ci man ke lewe jam gënu rutti la tona ci roluñ ñu cioloy ci ni bu ayu mu letit te won ko ci ni bu wek de ke takay ke loy chỉ là kia cái bàn chứ, đi chỉ bén mấy bàn rồi, đi chỉ bén mấy, những việc chur, việc ta còn đun, tôi vẫn nhiều, chỉ nằm kia cái bàn chứ đi chỉ bén mấy, chỉ nhảy thang cái bàn chứ đi chỉ bén mấy, chỉ riêng mấy tụi cái này bài mấy, cái kia lối. War chen we choro le we lost boys ningalo international opinion ngalo e war ha we war ni ke pa ni kang pinum e chen bilai na da non ko yong ke kweting chen weting ala duon jale wo pata bi
wo ko la wo gar wo ci lo ingle yunter tong jengena wo ja deral
ile we pata diaspora quanh cái bài bút pur quanh cái bài school quanh cái bài hóa học những cái con của nó về chả nói chúa mình pur của lưới cao quá các bố giáo chính là bao nhiêu giáo cả quay kia lưới luôn nó tung mặt thật chẳng có riêng có quá cái cái lưới kia có nhịp lường cái constitution gọi là quoted ấy ganun lưới là junub thì nó quy ganun chính ganun nhỉ chẳng có quá cái thao cái trong business cái lưới kia alo ke Eastern Equatoria, alo ke Central Equatoria, alo ke Western Equatoria, alo ke Upper Nile. Tani kulel ni ganun, kutena ku ganun. Na chala bul. Kujero yin ni der, ku ka ja ku der yin ga tingin twang. Boro ye tingo twang pa ni junu, nin do ganun. Tamka ko ke chin mar bu ko dia ki dum ka bu ke ting bu ko nya de ki chen bu ko to hop chu wa ke yo runalo ku lang ke ken ka ke luel bai ken ka ke luel bai na chi man ki chini man tin ro be wo ber ku wo truti tam ga ba du bai dan kor ke ko chi chen ke jor tin man e mat ke ne ko ko ke ben wa be la mat ke ko ko ben ai ndi wo yi lo kurtu to ku bu ti tiere kwar ko ti ku tiere wor ko ti ngi chele we so mi ta ga be man agong bachin chin ko ni ke ta che ko tu ba che ko tu ke ni wil ko nim ko pan bu ko to bi ko to bak tin ba wi chin dwar ku ba ko ka ba ga tin bu ko nya de wor ti ku ban ru ti markerut non ke ko ko be ke tir because ab ke ka tek luin ke dul ke lazim ba to woni ke ke bloy ba chira ne pe bu ngot wo gil ke waro gil wo pe we te ke lejrin di yangi
Shukran.